Okay, welcome back. So this is some help with your homework for week 3 on Friday. So the first question we had to solve, these are equations. We had to find the value of a when a over 9 was equal to 8. Okay, so the first step maybe would be to put that 9 into a bracket. Then to bring it up. So when I say bring it up, I'm multiplying both sides by 9 times 9, both sides. Okay, take this side by 9 clears to 9, as in 9 over 9 it cancels, and this side by 9 is 8 nines. So then you go ahead and compute, and you're finished. That's the answer to that one. Okay, we move on to B. B over 7 equals 8. Okay. We'll bracket up the 7, we'll bring it up, we'll multiply, and now we know that B is equal to 56. C over 7 equals negative 4, and I'll start skipping the bracketing step. We'll get minus 4 times 7. When I bring it up, I'll have it bracketed. Okay, equals negative 28, as in C equals negative 28. Next up we have D over minus 8 equals 12. Okay, all the more important to put this in a bracket because we're bracketing up the entire integer, including the minus. So D is equal to 12 times minus 8. Okay, when you compute that, you get negative 84. D is equal to negative 84. And finally, negative E over 13 equals 7. How to deal with this negative? A few different things you can do. One thing you can do is you can just move him over to the far side. You've changed the sign at the left and you've changed the sign at the right. Okay, actually that's probably the best way of doing it. Another thing you can do is you can associate him with the bottom, and you need to bracket that bottom anyway. Okay, so that's another option you can do. Remember, now we're going straight from here to here. So you see, when you get to go and get your product from here, you will end up with E equals negative 7 times 13. And here you will end up with E is equal to 7 times negative 13. So it really depends on which of the two factors you associate the negative with, but it doesn't make any difference because of the law of because products are commutative, and it doesn't matter whether the minus is associated. Essentially it's minus 1 times 7 times 13. Okay, and it doesn't matter what order they're in, or it doesn't matter whether the minus 1 is multiplied by the 7 first or the 13 first. Either way, you're ending up with negative 91. Okay, but that's interesting because actually the more elegant way, and it's not the one I showed you in class, it just didn't come to me, the more elegant way is to switch the signs of both expressions. Make this a positive expression and make this a negative expression. Now I'm probably preaching to the choir as such here, but just because the people who want to get the benefit of this may not even be listening to me, but there's no excuse once you have these videos available to you not to go through it and get that extra little bit of scaffolding and help that you need. And there's a very nice question now there where it's all letters. J over P equals Q. Solve for, and the instruction is solve for J. Now if we look at the syllabus, we see that we have to be able to, and I have a web page for you now, and in the syllabus, at the very bottom of algebra, it says rearrange formula. I don't know whether you'll be able to make this out here, but basically you have this on the web page, and you'll see that what we're trying to do is go down through all the different steps. You don't have to worry about the honour side, only the pass side. And at the very bottom here it says rearrange formula. So this is really a literal equation in that there's no numbers in it, and we have to rearrange the formula so J is the subject. But it's the exact same as what we've been doing, because these guys here are just like numbers, or they're parameters. Parameters effectively like numbers, and this is like the variable. So make J the subject. So we'll pack him up in a bracket and we're finished. Or indeed, we don't need the bracket for letters, so we're finished at that level. Okay, keep rolling on to the next set of questions. Now the first one was done for you. It read 4x equals 30, x equals 30 over 4, and then that's simplified to 15 over 2. And we're just doing similar questions. So the next first one up is 6k equals 14. Divide by 6. That's what you've done there. And simplify. Use your calculator, or I honestly recommend using your calculator unless you're particularly like doing mental maths and are confident with it. No reason not to put that into your calculator and come out with that. Minus 15. L equals 35. Now what we're going to do is we're going to do the trick of redistributing the minus, making this positive, making this negative. Okay, and we're going to divide down. And then we're going to simplify. 5 goes into both of them. And that's the answer. Minus 7 over 3. L equals minus 7 over 3. Sometimes you put that into a box to say that that's the answer. I hope you know where the pause button is. (13m) equals negative 19. No real challenge here. Drop the 13 down and you're done. Well, bring the minus out and of a fraction, introduce a fraction bar and drop down to 13. 21n equals 10. Simply drop down. And drop it down where? Well, that's for you to make the clever move of introducing the fraction bar. And then you've dropped down and you've 10 over 21. These are called coprime. There's other words for that as well. They are, what are the other words? Coprime, relative prime. And there's another one, can't think of it right now, but so relative prime and coprime, which means they're essentially prime to each other, they have nothing in common, and in other words this won't reduce. At the end of the day this is 2 5s over 3 7s, and when you want to know what something cancelling, you need to be looking at prime factors. So that's why the whole business of number theory and prime numbers is important in this. But at the end of the day your calculator can cut through all of that and sort it out for you. Okay, that's the end of that. So rather than show you the example again, I'll just jump on the third sheet. I'll just jump into the questions that you have from homework. So it's 3p over 7 equals 2/5. Okay. So the traveller is going to have brackets. At least by the time we're finished they are anyway. So the 7 will come up and the 3 will go down. Okay, as we can see there's nothing in common, these are all prime numbers. So the answer is just 14 over 15. Next up we have 4q over 5 equals 3 over 14. Q is equal to 3 times 5. That was the 5 that did the travelling up. Now I'm going to take the 4 down. Okay, and it's going to be, and he goes into a bracket. Nothing is cancelling here. This will be a 2, a 7, another 2 2s. 3 and 5. So you need to compute that out into 15 over 4 14s. 40 and 16 is 56. Okay, so you have 7r over 2 equals 11 over 3. So r is equal to, so the 2 comes up, 11 twos, and the 7 comes down, 3 sevens, 22 over 21. 7 over negative 3 equals 5s over 2. Okay, let's bracket them. No, the s is on the left hand side. Hold on a minute now. So the s is on the left hand side, so these are the two travellers. 2 will come up, 7 twos, and 2 will come up, and negative 3 will go down. Okay, so we're nearly there. I'm going to work this way because the s is over there. I'm going to say that's 14 over negative 15. Of course, and I don't want that, so let's just bag it up here. S equals, I don't want the minus to be outside the fraction. I will say the negative of the positive fraction, negative 14 over 15. So make sure you don't leave the minus in either the numerator or denominator. Make sure you separate it out. Otherwise you'll be accused of not giving the answer in simplest form. S equals negative 14 over 15. Okay, now we're moving on to a question with a t in it, and it reads 17 over 19 equals 11t over 13. So these are all prime numbers, so first thing we might want to do is just reflect left to right. So we'd say 11, that's the same as 11t over 13 equals 17 over 19. And I should have done that in the previous question too. So t is equal to 17 by 13 over 19 by 11. Okay, and you probably want to take a calculator out for this. 170 and 51, 221, and 190 and 19, 209, if I got that right. Okay, that's t done. So solving inverse proportions, we're going on to the next one here. If the unknown is isolated and downstairs, well, these shouldn't be a major problem. So we've got 5 over 11u equals 2 over 7. So by far the best step, or first step, is to pop them up both upside down, and then they become the same as a previous type of question. Okay, so now you see that will go up there, so it'll be 7 5s, and the 11 will come down here. 35 over 22. So 2 over 7v equals 7 over 16. Turn them up the other way. Okay, so what is that? I'm inverting both fractions, or I'm reciprocating both fractions. To invert really means to do the opposite, but it could be it's a general expression. To reciprocate is to turn upside down. Now you can just say to turn both of them upside down. That's absolutely fine. But if you want to be really, really sophisticated, like what's turning 0.2 upside down? The answer is 5. But you've done the reciprocal of 0.2, but it wasn't in fractional form in the first place. So the word reciprocal is something you can do for any number, no matter what form it's in. But in this case, we can just simply say turn them upside down. So we've done that there, and the 2 goes up, and I'll just calculate that. 16 2s is 32, and 7 7s is 49. Okay. So the next one was 2 over 3w equals 7 over 25. Turn them upside down, reciprocate them. Okay, the 3 will go down, the 2 will come up. I'm doing them both together. There's no particular order which they should be done. You might as well do them both together. 2 goes up, 225, so I can calculate. 3 7s is 21. So I'm going to speed things up now, and I'm actually going to pre-reciprocate. I'm going to reciprocate as I read it. So it was 4 over 9y, I'm going to write 9y over 4. It was 7 over 25, I'm going to write 25 over 7. That's the first step. So now y equals 100. For that multiplication, 7 9s is 63. Okay, that's the answer there. And I'm reciprocating again straight away. 3z over 2 equals 25 over 7. Z equals 50 over 21. That looks awfully like what I just did a minute ago, because it's exact copy. Just pure fluke, it was exact copy. We'll just put it in. That doesn't make it doesn't mean that we don't need to say, well, this in this case the only difference with it is that it was Z. So just have to roll with that one. Okay, and last, and now we have a little bit of challenge here. We've binomials thrown in.